Hi, thanks for joining me today on Patreon. I'm glad you're here. And if you're here, you're checking me out and probably considering about becoming one of my patrons. And so for even just that consideration, I thank you so much. I'm Suzanne Barrett Justice, and I have been an artist for over 30 years. I do, as you can see, primarily wildlife and animal portraits, but I do a lot of human portraits as well. I do basically whatever inspires or motivates me. I am sometimes, it could be color. It may not even be the subject that inspires me to do a painting. It can very well be color. And that alone can just get me into painting. And sometimes I've been known to paint some of the most unusual things just because it was color that brought me there. So, and yeah, I am so appreciative of you being here. I didn't even know about Patreon until one of my artist friends had asked me. She's like, "Why aren't you on Patreon?" And I'm like, "I don't even know what it is." And once I started looking into it, I thought, awesome, this is a really good platform for artists like myself. I have been lucky enough to have my own working art studio gallery for over 14 years. And I teach here in my studio. I have probably about 20 students that I work with, and I come every day with my dog. You can hear my dog is barking down here. Her name's Phoebe, and she's an awesome little dog. But anyway, yeah, and you'll be able to see. There's if you're on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to look at her. Her portrait that I painted. And so what I'm hoping to do on Patreon is basically what I've been posting on YouTube is usually the abbreviated version of a painting. It may be usually a time lapse simply because you're not going to hold the attention of folks for very long on YouTube. And Patreon's going to give me an opportunity to be able to show you the full length narrated versions of my paintings. Now, the luxury of I guess watching it on your phone or watching it on your tablet or computers, you can speed through parts that you want to see, or stop here and pick it up when you feel like it, and that's kind of I think a really neat aspect of that. But if you're only watching time lapse, you're only going to get so much. Well, here in Patreon, I do plan to show you the full length uncut version where you get to hear my internal dialogue, which sometimes can be kind of a scary thing. But you'll be able to follow along with a lot of my paintings. I'm going to offer several tiers, and with each tier builds upon the last tier, and so you get anything from watching the full-length tutorials, painting tutorials, to actually participating in live question and answer events that we can do, and I hope to also be able to do live demos where you can ask questions while I'm painting, and if you're so inclined, you can follow along. And one of my upper tiers, which I will have a limited amount of numbers that I can do simply because I just don't think I can handle that many critiques, but I will be offering an opportunity for me to be able to look at your work and be able to critique it for you. So yeah, and then I guess my top tier is one where I will offer twice a year to those patrons original art pieces. I will actually just send them an art piece, and they will be art pieces of my choice, but they will get original artworks that will have, they may value at least from anywhere from 300 to 600 to 7. It's whatever I end up sending them. Especially, I do have to be careful about international pieces that would be, I don't want to have to mail out a lot of pieces internationally, but I'm hoping that, if I can do this, this will be something that, I don't know, I look forward to being able to do that. So anyway, again, thanks for considering being a patron of mine, and if you are and do decide to become one of my patrons, know that you're falling into the history of long-standing patrons who have supported artists for hundreds and hundreds of years. Michelangelo and Da Vinci and Vermeer and on and on and on. They all had patrons just like you that have helped support us, and it's people like you that allow us artists to be able to continue to create our work and be able to concentrate on that effort. So again, thanks so much for actually checking out my page. And do let me know if there's something that you're kind of like, you're wanting to see on my Patreon page. Let me know. Especially if you're one of my patrons, I'd love to know what you're thinking and what you'd like to see. And yeah, we'll talk about it. So again, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you consider being one of my patrons. Thanks so much.